Hello, once again, this is Brother Teacher with a message that you probably are not ready for, but I'm going to give it to you nonetheless. You know, sometimes we have to hear messages that we don't want to hear, but they're necessary. And sometimes the message is greater than the messenger. Sometimes, in other words, we don't like the messenger, but we should actually be looking at the message instead of the messenger. So, take a deep breath, put on your big boy and big girl pants, pull them up, and accept things the way that they really are. And stop living in this illusion of inclusion. Stop living this fantasy of this pretend make-believe world that you think that you're in, because it's not as it seems or appears. You've heard the expression before that we're living in the Matrix, and if you really don't know this already, then I feel sorry for you. You'll probably never know. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you down the road just for a moment. Did you not know that we're living in some very tumultuous times? And we have to be prepared for some even harder times. And we have to prepare ourselves individually, and we have to be strong. I'm talking to adults now. We have to be strong not only for ourselves individually, we have to walk firmly on our square, and we have to be there for our families, for our children and our grandchildren, if we have children and grandchildren, that is. Because it's going to get hard. In the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to experience, excuse my expression, hell in this country and on this planet. Whether you want to envision that or accept that or not, coming from me and others like me, I'm just a small fish in the pond. So, listen to this. If you don't know this already, then know. We have a couple major wars going on this planet right now that's affecting all of us, because we are a world economy. Just because Israel is in a war with Hamas in Palestine and so forth does not mean that it's not affecting us in the rest of the world, because it is. Just because Russia and Ukraine are in the war does not mean that it's not affecting us as well, because it is. And did you not know that China and Taiwan is not even off the charts yet? That's another possible war. And don't rule out North Korea, because they sent troops to Russia, actually to Ukraine, to help Russia fight that war. I know you know this, right? There's a lot going on right now in the world that we're in. Now, as we go through this transition of power, Donald Trump coming into office on January the 20th doesn't mean that it's over yet. Because there might be some interference by somebody, some players, before he gets in office, because they've been warring against him still. That's one thing. Listen to this. Why do we have chemicals? This is the other subject, right? I've been talking about this for years. I'm not the only one. Why do we have chemicals, all of these ingredients in our food supply that causes cancer? All of these food colors, additives, and preservatives and things like that that's in our food that we purchase in our grocery stores. It's not natural. What do you think disease comes from? Most disease comes from what we put in our bodies. Most disease that we contract comes from what we put in and on our bodies. So what do you put in your body, ladies and gentlemen? Food, or what we think is food. It tastes good. So where does the food source come from? A lot of it is manufactured. It is processed and ultra processed foods. It's not coming from the farms like it used to, naturally, organically. It's not. Highly processed foods. What do you think processed means and ultra processed means? It means that it's kept on the shelves for days on days and weeks on weeks and months on months and even years. For food, organic food, to stay on the shelves, it has to have chemicals in it to stay there. And guess who consumes that food with those chemicals? Organic creatures like us, human beings, right? And what eventually does happen, it affects us internally, and then it manifests itself at some point as disease. And guess what happens then? We get turned over to the doctors and the hospitals with some sort of chronic disease and or condition, and maybe even cancer down the road. And they stay in business, don't they? Preach, brother teacher. That's one thing. I just wanted to share that with you if you don't know that. How many of you out there study what you put in your body? How many of you out there read the ingredients? How many of you out there have a little parcel of land that you grow your own produce? How many of you know that there's about 1,000 or more things, chemicals, in the water that we drink out the tap? That's the park water, fountains. That's the water that comes out of your fountain or your sink in your home. If you don't have a filter, you're not going to get all of it out. That's the bottled water that you purchase inside the plastic that has oftentimes chemicals within the plastic, BPA, bisphenol A, and so forth. That's a chemical synthetic estrogen. And there's other chemicals in those plastics as well. Did you not know that? And I'm just touching on the surface. And that's even the canned goods that are lined with BPA and other chemicals on the inside of the can, so the can does not rust. For your canned goods, that is. How do you think those vegetables and those other food products in the can stay in the can so long? You have to have a lining on the inside, right? Hello, think about it. What about the plastics that you use in the microwave? Once that microwave heats that plastic up, those chemicals start to sweat in those plastics and it absorbs into the food that's inside the microwave. What about the bags that you microwave your food in? Bags are made of chemicals as well. Have you thought about that? What about the clothes that you wear? Have you thought about that? Acrylic, polyester. Did you not know that that's plastic? Did you not know that? Those are plastics. I did a video about that before. When you wear that close to your body absorbs things, right? When your body gets heated up, it absorbs things, the chemicals from the things that you put on your body. So cotton and wool is the best thing to wear on your body, to include hemp, because they're natural. Have you thought about these things? It's best really to sleep naked. Just something to think about. Did you know that everything that you put on your skin, your lotion, your cologne, your perfume, your creams, absorbs into your skin, because your skin is alive? It is part of your immune system as well. Did you not know that? That's why you have pores, tiny pores in your skin. Think about it. Everything you put on your skin and rub in, it absorbs into your blood system. Did you not know that? Never thought about it, did you? And so we wonder why we have allergic reactions to some things, certain things. We wonder why we have all of these irritations, why we have all of these diseases. We wonder why, but we always so easily go to the emergency room. We always so easily go to the pharmaceutical counter in the drugstore, get the antihistamines and all of the other different concoctions that they have when we don't feel too well, right? But what are they doing to your bodies as well? I'm just touching on the surface. Just something for you to think about. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what you think, but there is a faction that has been running this world, that continues to run this world, and some call it the 1%. I concur. 1% of this population on this planet runs the other 99% of the world. 1% of this population on this planet has most of the wealth. That's a fact. They control the planet. How fair is that? That this small percentile, this small group of people or individuals that are mega wealthy, not rich, wealthy, beyond our imagination, control this planet. These people are the elite. They are people that you never see, never will see. They live in paradise somewhere. Islands, mountains, places hidden away, and they control the world. And they're not just from what we call the United States of America. They're from various places. So they could care less about us, the 99%. And I'm sure you may have, if you've done a little bit of study, you've heard about depopulation of the world. So look at it in these terms. To send a virus out, and I have to be very careful saying this, to send a disease out that will kill 100,000 people or 1,000,000 people would mean nothing to them, as long as their family's fine. It wouldn't worry them at all, because these people are ruthless, heartless. They don't care, because as long as their inner circle is taken care of, they don't care about anybody else. They care about perpetuity for their own, forever, their own lineage. Can you not understand that? It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's the truth. Can you imagine being on a ship, and there's several people on the ship, and there's wealthy people on the ship, and there's a few people drowning? The wealthy people will be more concerned with themselves and their own as opposed to anybody else. That's just the way they think. When I say wealthy, I'm talking about super wealthy people, because they want to live forever. These are not normal thinking people. These are not rational people. Many of them have lied, cheated, and even killed to get where they are. And they don't want to lose what they have. and what they have. I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about power. That's what it is. It's a family thing. Anyway, enough of that. So, just think about it. They don't care about poison in our food and poison in our water. They don't care that thousands of people die annually because of heart disease or diabetes or what have you, because it doesn't affect them. Do you not understand that? Do you not comprehend that? These people, as I said before, are without empathy, without sympathy, heartless. And I don't care what you hear the companies, the major corporations say, oh, we're sorry, our heart goes out to this person. And they put out all of these marketing things and so forth and say, well, we're here for the people. For real, honestly, where the rubber meets the road, these people are out for profits in these corporations. The bottom line, we call it. That's it and that's all. They don't care about collateral damage, who they hurt. They have a lawsuit here and there. They can pay for it because it does not affect the bigger picture. They make so much money, they can afford one or two lawsuits for a few million. It doesn't hurt them. They just write it off. Think about it. So, I kind of scathed over that. So let me back up a little bit and bring that back to bear. So, the chemicals that's in our foods, for example, if, let's say, it was reported that 10 people contracted cancer from something that's in the particular food, right? They'll take it off the shelf for a moment. The 10 people are immaterial to them. That's just 10 people. They write a couple checks. They've made that 100,000 times already, the money that they paid out. It doesn't affect that company. They just keep going. Are you getting what I'm saying to you? They're not going to stop putting the chemicals and the things, the cancer-causing agents in their products because it's still making money. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if they cared about humanity, they would have stopped a long time ago, but they're not going to. That's why the tobacco company still keeps making cigars, cigarettes. They're not going to stop. They know it causes cancer. They put the warning on the cigarette packs, on the cigar packs. This causes tongue cancer, it causes mouth cancer, it causes lung cancer, it causes possible deformity, it causes issues with women that are pregnant. They put all the warnings on there and they still keep pumping. They still keep making the product. They know this. Do they stop making tobacco products? No. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. We need to talk to our children and tell them about the real world that we're in, and we need to prepare for some chaos in America. You need to start having family talks. If you've never had a family talk, and you have to start having family talks again, and if you've been disenfranchised from your family for a while because of the problems that you've had, indifferences and so forth, you need to get together in these days and times, because as I said, it's going to get hard, it's going to get harder, and we need one another. I'm being 100% with you right now. I'm keeping it 100, as they say. All of that being segregated and going in the closet and going in the mountains and staying away from one another and I'm on my own, this kind of stuff. No, we need one another. We need a village like it used to be long ago. We need a village now. I hear people talking about, I'm getting a house, I'm going to another state and all this other stuff. Okay, you're gonna find out that you're gonna be like the Mexicans. You're gonna start shacking up when things get hard, because it's gonna get that hard. It's not gonna be no I'm by myself. That was all I had to say for right now. Think on these things. This is Teacher.